Fires a long one. Nothing but net. Oh, my goodness. Didn't see that coming. I'm diddly dee.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of All Nat, brought to you by OTS. I am your host, Natalie, but most people call me Nat. And today I have a man who terrorizes the TL. Some people are a fan, some people are not, but I can relate because I'm equally as polarizing. So I want to welcome you to the show, SwipaCam. Thank you for being on today.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much. Amazing content you got, amazing platform you building out. Big fan of your work. So I appreciate you bringing me on.
Thank you. As am I. You push out a lot. Like I see videos coming out on YouTube constantly, and now you're in the Twitter sphere. You just do a lot. I'm like, I just seen these get alerts, because I am subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. So I'm subscribed and I have the little notification on, and I just keep getting like notifications. I'm like, well, damn, this man is always working. So I definitely respect the hustle and how much you push out content. You were also incredibly passionate about Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. And I respect that passion because I go equally as hard for the Warriors and Stephen Curry. So in many ways, I can relate to you, So when people be like, oh, that guy drives me crazy, I'm just like, nah, I get him. I understand him because I do the same thing to people too, So, but I also love too that you definitely know your numbers and you're in your analytics bag. So I respect that as well. So we're going to talk today. We're going to do a nice little preview to let people know what to expect. I'm sure we're going to disagree on many things, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, check us both out on Dishes and Dimes. We just did a preview for them. Love those ladies. So yeah, bring you a lot of content this postseason. So you ready? Let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
So why don't we start here? So who do you predict? Which team is going to win this series, Cam?
Yeah, you know what? I've had this conversation a couple of times, I feel like, and I think it's nuanced. And I told people might feel like it's a cop-out, but it's not. It's completely nuanced. There is a very real possibility the Warriors will win this in 6 games, easy. And I'm talking about like they might lose 2 games because they get tired of shooting threes and their arms are tired in by the fourth quarter, and then they just don't want to put up no more shots. I think that there's a real opportunity for the Warriors to just blow the Nuggets out of the water. I think having Steph Curry back, we all know he's going to play. I never was of the mindset he wasn't going to play. When he got hurt in March, and then they knew they're about to play the Denver Nuggets was always a possibility. I figured he was going to play. So having Steph, having Jordan, who's been on this crazy tear, who's basically 2014, 15 Steph all over again in a lot of ways, having Klay Thompson, having Andrew Wiggins, Western Conference All-Star starter, having Draymond Green, I mean, there's a real chance for them to blow like the Nuggets out, and it'll be a 4-2 series, if not in the worst case scenario, 4-1 series. I think the thing is, this is all going to depend on how the role players play. I think the Nuggets have, just like the Warriors have, their perimeter matchup advantage. We don't have the guards, the Monte Morris and Will Bartons and Austin Rivers. That's not Klay, it's not Steph, that's not Jordan and the rest of them, right? But I think the thing is, and shout out to Gary Payton too. Like, hey man, that's one of the best defenders in the league. But I think the size advantage the Nuggets have, the skill in the paint, the advantage the Nuggets have is going to be the things that's going to have to separate them. They're going to have to dominate the offensive glass. They're going to have to dominate the offensive board. No second chance opportunities. They're going to have to run in transition when they have opportunities to limit the turnovers. There is a way. There's a lane, right? There's a path.
Tell me the path. You're starting to tell it to me, but
yeah.
Tell me the path to the Nuggets winning this series.
So it's going to come down to how it's Aaron Gordon, Monte Morris, Will Barton, and Bones Highland. How do they respond to the onslaught that will come at different points in time from the Warriors perimeter players? They will not be able to do it as consistently because, role players don't do that. I think Jordan Poole's an ascending star. I think if he doesn't win most improved player, it's probably going to be Darius Garland or one of them, but he's right there in that top 3, I think. I think they have 3 stars at the perimeter position. The Nuggets have 0, and the Nuggets have one great at times, one good perimeter defender in Austin Rivers. Monte is not a perimeter defender. Will Barton's not a perimeter defender. Aaron Gordon is a wing defender. So that's not really too much to put him on. I mean, he can, maybe he's on Steph every so often, but now then that leaves, Wiggins in the corner three, or Clay on the movement. It's just a lot of issues, right? The pathway is going to be they win the turnover battle, and then they win the rebounding by a decisive margin, because they can dominate the boards between Jokic averaging 16 to 17, and then also have Jeff Green, having Zeke Naji, having JaMychal Green, and then Boogie Cousins. When I tell you Boogie Cousins is going to have to destroy Bjelica, I mean destroy him.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of belly minutes though in this series.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But like, it depends on who you want to put at the big. So if you want to rotate somebody else at the 5 when Looney's off the court, maybe Draymond drops down to the 5 and you bring somebody else in. I don't. And again, because Draymond talked about this too. Is what are they going to do with Jordan Poole now that Steph is back? Like, does he drop back down to the bench? Does that mean that Looney comes out and Draymond slides down and they're going to put Poole at the 2, but Clay at the 3, and then Wiggins at the 4? I mean, that depth lineup is going to be elite right there. Like, I don't think Wiggins is as efficient as that Harrison Barnes era was, but I think Wiggins is going to slot into that role very well. I mean, just having that lineup at the end of the game can be crucial. But like I said, man, you're going to have to hold the Warriors to one shot. And they're going to have to win the rebounding battle, win the turnover battle. There's a lane for the Nuggets to win the series. Like, it's there. But as you very well know, it's hard to rely on role players to live up to those kind of expectations on a consistent basis. Like, yeah, if they had Jamal, then like that's completely different, because now you actually have 2 star level playoff players, at least an MVP caliber player, all NBA caliber player to playoffs, who can actually give you 24, 5, and 5 and offset something that Steph might do one night, or Clay, or especially Poole. So I think that if they play within the scheme, if Jokic is able to play an efficient series because the shooters are hitting, if it comes down to the shooters aren't hitting, they're not making their shots, and Jokic is getting Kayvon Looney, who's playing D against him, playing tough, and he's also playing very aggressive. Draymond's operating in that free safety role in the paint, and he has to do everything. Oh, it's a wash. They're getting cooked. But if Aaron Gordon steps up, if Monte steps up, it will. And they did it in the regular season. Like, they had time. Like, Aaron Gordon last 14 games of the year is averaging 17, 4, and 3, shooting 43.5% from 3, shooting over 50% from the field. So if he keeps that momentum up, that alone will open up the floor. If Jeff Green can continue to be what he was with the Nets when the playoffs last year, when he was KD's running man after Kyrie and Harden went down, again, Jeff Green can also be a portable athlete you need. So the Nuggets will win the front court battle, but it's just going to be how much do they win the front court battle by. I think Jokic has just touched like a different kind of ceiling this year. Again, basically he's averaging 37, 16, and 7 over the last 7 games of the regular season, shooting 63% from the field as well. So, I mean, he's going to have to dominate. And I think the Warriors will be smart to not let him dominate in the fourth quarter. I mean, you front him, backside help, weak side rotation. Don't let him get the ball in the fourth quarter. If they can keep him from getting the ball, the Warriors will win. But now it's just going to be up to Michael Malone and Jokic, and how they're actually going to make sure that he's getting out of the paint, rotating on the key, rotating on the wing, getting the ball, getting down to the paint. And again, in the playoffs, he's shooting 40% from 3 in 43 career playoff games. So if he's able to keep up that kind of efficiency, then yeah, it's going to be death for the Warriors. But that's just because, like, if he's operating at peak optimum, like, energy level, meaning that the defense is playing well enough on the perimeter, Aaron Gordon and all them are doing what they're supposed to do, then they can win. But like I said, man, like, that's a path. But that path is going to take a lot of work from role
They have
players.
to be perfect almost.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just have to play like an A level. Like, they just have to play at like a B plus level when they're not always on. Like, in that but that's defense, right? Like, the Warriors don't always score well, but they always play defense. And so you have to be attacking the point of attack. You have to be securing rebounds. You got to be getting out in transition. But you can control all of those things. Now, that's what frustrates me about basketball sometimes. Like, you can always control rebounding energy and defensive energy and your rotations. But sometimes NBA players, they just lose, like, they get tired. They just lose sight of, like, some of the IQ stuff. And so if the Nuggets are able to do that, then they can do it. But, like, Jokic is going to cook. But now it's just up to, like, he's going to be an all-time playmaker. But can the playmaker rely on his shooters to shoot shots? That's what it comes down
to. Okay. This is really fair and balanced analysis from you. I appreciate it.
See, I always do that.
This is why people need to listen, because I'm sure people were like, when I even put this out, I'm sure people are going to be like, why did you have him on the show? I bet you. But that was great. Like I didn't know what to expect, what I was going to hear from you. You took a lot of my talking points. Yeah, and I said some of this too when we recorded yesterday on Dishes and Dimes, but I have all these notes about like the four games they played over this season, and what I didn't check is who won the rebounding battle in all those games. Do you know?
I want to say the Nuggets did, but
In every
they
game?
also I don't think they won every game. I think they won the overall season series in the rebounding battle, but I think a lot of that was contingent on the fact that Draymond wasn't there on any of those games as well. And then, Wiggins is not necessarily a great rebounder. Like, so the Warriors don't just have like a lot of rebounders. The Nuggets had Aaron Gordon for, I think, all of those games, I want to say, maybe 3 of them. And then Jeff Green was available for 2 of them, I think. Dick Naji was there for only 2 of them, I think. I don't know if he played that much. So I think the Nuggets won it. But like I said, man, like they just did. Kayvon Looney, he's not a great rebounder. You know what I mean? So it's just not a lot of matchup advantages down there.
Yeah, so we're actually a good rebounding team, even though we don't have a lot of tall players, right? We just do team rebounding.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't look to see. So I'm gonna look now. I didn't look to see who had the edge in those games. So Otto Porter is like one of our best rebounders, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't remember.
Player.
I don't even remember if he played in most of those games.
He did. He played that game. He played best, I think, maybe in the game that the Warriors lost on the Monte Morris game-winning shot. He actually played fairly well, and he actually caused a lot of problems to the second unit on the rebounding battle in that game.
He did. If he didn't actually, he messed up because on the last possession, the Warriors' last possession, he passed the ball to Kuminga to try to shoot over Jokic, and Jokic blocked it. But Steph passed him the ball because he was going to relocate, and he wanted Otto to get the ball back to him. Otto didn't realize that. New player, new to the team, so that kind of stuff happens. That was the game where you guys started off strong, were blowing us out, then we came back and held Denver to 27 second half points.
Yeah, I remember that because I think the Nuggets held y'all to 86 points total in that game.
And you guys had 89. And it was actually for Jokic, one of his more inefficient nights. And a Jokic inefficient night isn't like others because he's hyper efficient.
Yeah, it's 50%. Yeah, it's 50%
right.
from the field.
So he was 8 of 19, but that's good. Yeah. Like if you have him at 8 of 19, that's good for us, right? And so he had 22 points that night. There was no Dre, no Clay or Poole in that game. And we were smack in the middle of the Steph Curry slump during that game. So let me check. I'm looking at the box score.
So just to let you know, the Warriors had 157 rebounds versus the Nuggets this season, and the Nuggets had 182 rebounds versus the Warriors.
Total. That's over all the games, right?
Yeah, 182 to 157. And then
so we had 43 in that game.
Which one? Can you read all 4 of them?
Yeah, I'm going to go to each one. So the December game, Warriors had 43, Nuggets had 44. So y'all only beat us by 1 rebound. Yep. And that was with several guys missing. Boogie wasn't on the team yet for you guys.
Boogie didn't start playing until the last 2 games.
Right. Okay. So so that was the first matchup. So the rebounding battle was pretty much even in that game. All right, let's move to the next game.
So I can actually read them to you. It was 43 to 44 in the first game. The second game, the Warriors had 37 rebounds. The Nuggets had 48 rebounds.
Okay.
And then in the third game, the Warriors had 41 rebounds. The Nuggets had 41 rebounds. And then in the last game, the game the Nuggets played, the 4th game in the 5th night, the one that y'all actually won this year, the Nuggets had 49 rebounds, and then the Warriors had 36 rebounds that game.
Okay, so you guys out rebounded us then, and we still won, but it was the 4th game in 5 nights. That
was actually a really good game. That was one of my favorite games of the year. And Steph had he was playing that game as well, and so I think Clay did he play that?
Clay was slightly inefficient that night. He wasn't that great. Wiggs was also low scoring, inefficient, but Kuminga, They had no answers. Your bench unit had no answers for Kuminga, and I do think that he is going to be an X factor in this series because we can just put him out there, and not like in this series in particular, but in general this postseason, because you can put him up against anybody's like bench, and like they can't handle him because he's just so strong. He can get to the rim, like he gets fouled, or he gets to the free throw line like almost all the time. Like he's almost already getting like Embiid like treatment, and he's not. So I mean, when he starts hitting those free throws, but he had 18 points, and now that wasn't in the final game. No, it wasn't the final game. Yeah, he had 18 points in that final game, the one that we won, 7 of 12 shooting. So.
And then I think it was the game before when that's when no Steph either. And that was actually the game that I felt like of the games that were on equal footing, with like, you know, the rest time and all that. The Warriors played was Moses Moody, Kuminga,
the baby Dubs.
Right. And like they
equal footing. Hello, you guys don't have a superstar.
I didn't mean like from an injury standpoint. I meant like that last game, like I said, like they had to do that makeup game. They had to do 2 of them this season. It was the 4th game in 5 nights. That only happened like twice in like the last.
I hear you. I mean, I'm not going to really have that much pity for you guys because you forced us to have 2 games that week.
No, they didn't want to. I'm trying to tell y'all. Like Brooklyn did it to them. They had to reschedule that stupid game, and then by the time it happened, I'm trying to tell y'all. Like
I don't care.
Oh, that was so frustrating.
And in general, though, like it's fun. Like all the games, even I knew that game was going to be close. The one with the baby Dubs. Because I'm like, the baby Dubs show up to play like every game. Like, you know, people just thought we were going to get manhandled. I'm like, look, Denver's probably going to win, but that's going to be
how the Nuggets play. They don't blow people out.
I was like, that's going to be a close game. And I mean, obviously you guys won the regular season series 3-1, but like, I look at like those first 2 games, especially like that one with the Morris 3-point buzzer beater. And I'm just like that defensive lapse that Steph has, that's not going to happen if Draymond's in the game, you know? So whatever, you know, like all the games were close. So I didn't really feel, you know, there are a lot of Warriors fans who are like freaking out. But I didn't feel that strongly that like, I didn't really read too much into the regular season game. So, you know, I give any team that has a player of Jokic's level a chance, but I do think that you guys are just outmanned. Like, I just don't think you have enough to like, you know, because we have so many weapons and like, they don't all have to be hitting on the same night, you know? And even since that time for many of these games, except like that last one, there were things that have changed about this team. So one is we have the new 3-guard lineup, right? And that's something that is like, it's our new death lineup. We don't call it the death lineup, but it's like, it's not the death lineup anymore, but this is our new like best lineup. And we haven't got to run that lineup with Dre because the moment he came back, you know, then Steph went down. So the 3-guard lineup hasn't actually played with Dre. And then you had Jordan Poole, like you mentioned, who like took his games like another level. And I would agree with you. I think he's made the case to be a starter on this team and honestly for like any NBA team, right? And so the Warriors have some things to figure out. If Jordan is not starting, and this may not be the series to start him, but if he's not starting, he's going to be playing starter like minutes, and he's going to play a lot of his time with the starters anyway. So that's
you know, that's going to be a fascinating bench lineup. I personally wouldn't start him because I wouldn't start him over Steph or Clay, obviously. And I think it makes much more sense to start off big than it does to start small. Because if you close small, I think that actually is a little bit better option than starting small. Because then if you have Poole, Clay, and Steph on the court, and then you got Monte, who's about 6'2", then you got Will, who's 6'6", then you got Aaron Jordan, who's 6'8", Jeff Green is 6'8", and then Jokic is obviously 6'11". I think it makes more sense to say, look, bro, let's just go play straight up, like not let Jokic just feast on whoever, because that way I just don't think taking Kayvon Looney off the court or Wiggins. Would you take Wiggins or Looney off the court in that situation?
No, so I think I wasn't even suggesting Steph or Clay.
Right.
I think that unit is most likely when it plays, it's not gonna have Loon in it, right? So it'll be the 3 guards, most likely Andrew Wiggins, but Otto Porter could be in that spot as well. And the thing about it is, if it is, my guess is it wouldn't be like Wiggs at the 4. It would be Wiggs at the 3 and Clay at the 4, right? That's what I'm thinking.
So him
And
matchup wise, like defensively, or just
yeah, because Clay he's defending much better. He's not like what he used to be,
right.
but I think Andrew's better at the point of attack. But Clay's a big body, like he, and he can still, like, for bigger guys who aren't as quick, he can still like manage them. So I actually just think it's better for him. And you let Andrew guard some of those quicker, smaller guards, and they can hide Poole, because like, even though people swore like Steph needed to be hidden all those years, even though he's been playing great defense for a while now, like they have the ability to hide, Poole. Like they know how to do that. So Andre might get thrown in there on occasion, and I think sometimes for defensive versatility, maybe it's Jordan's not in and you have like GP2 in there, so there'll be a few different looks. But yeah, I mean, Kevon Looney might start. I really
Why do
have
y'all
no
have so
idea.
many players?
Huh?
Why do y'all have so many players?
What do
Because
you mean?
that's so funny, because it's like, we're
After
talking about the
after what
starters.
we've had to deal with for 2 years, we deserve that.
No, I'm trying to tell you, like, I think
No?
the five, and
And
then
do you see where
Poole.
we got those players from? Deep, deep, deep in the
No,
draft.
listen. What I'm saying is, you got Kaminga in the top 10. Let's stop playing there. But then you got
Okay.
Kaminga,
But look at the
Moses
rest.
Moody, Kaminga, Moses
Moody's not
Moody, and then
playing in the series.
well, I know, but I'm saying he's still he's a nice prospect. He's a good
Of
player.
course.
But I was
Yes.
even thinking about Gary Payton. This whole time, like, I'm over here
G
putting together
League.
this, like, I know, but I'm putting together this whole. So is Poole. I'm putting together this whole, like, this roster in my head, our clutch lineups, like
I mean,
starters.
y'all got
And then,
Jokic deep in the draft. Why can't
I'm
we get
saying,
someone?
but Gary Payton is like sitting there like on Lonely Island by himself. I'm just like, wait a minute. They got, like, if he played more minutes, he'd be on the all defense team. He's just like chilling, like the
Yep.
ninth man on the rotation. So the Nuggets, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, this is all going to come down to Jokic and just utter pure domination of, like, one of the greatest peaks ever in the last 2 seasons, and then the role players stepping up, or it's going to be a Warriors wash, because there's just, like, just even the idea, like, Gary Payton, first off, the Nuggets don't have athletes. When they're missing Jamal and Porter, you're missing 2 of their 3 best athletes on the court. The Nuggets are then asking, like, Austin Rivers or Brent. Now, let me also say this. If Brent Forbes does what he did last year versus the Milwaukee Bucks and what he did against y'all, if he comes in the game and he's shooting, 15, 18 points here and there, Bones is hitting 18 points, 20
Yeah,
points.
I have these all as X factors for Denver.
Right.
And like
right.
I said, Boogie Cousins needs to be Boogie Cousins of old, like over the course of the series. Like you need him
Right.
to be like big over the course. Although he's gonna get attacked. You know that, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, so I think, like, the attack thing is like, because people brought this up before. I think it would not make sense for the Warriors to spend too much time trying to attack their big when they can just win with their own, within their scheme of their offense and their matchups. Like, and the thing is, they're not, when they play. So
Well, so if they have a game though where the threes aren't falling, right? That's one option for them. And then also though, but I just think, like, why not? If you have Boogie Cousins on you,
But
like,
I
why
think
not?
attacking Boogie would be smart, but trying to attack Jokic over and over with.
Right, but that's why I said
Right.
Boogie. I wasn't talking about
Right.
Jokic. I'm just saying Boogie's
Right.
gonna get attacked, right?
But
So
if,
you know that.
if Boogie can offset that with 9 and 6 on the other end in limited minutes, then that way that actually works out in the Nuggets' favor. Because if he can win his minutes and have a decent amount of production, that way when Jokic comes back in the game, they're not down 12 or 10 or 15. If they can just be down 6, then again you could make it a series. But the real issue is
they might just trade buckets during that time, because if Kuminga is out there, they didn't have any answers for him.
Yeah, I mean, JaMychal Green is going to be, so JaMychal Green, the thing that people may sleep on with him, he shot better from 3, but JaMychal Green he's a grizzly of a defender when it comes to, like, interior players. Kuminga won't necessarily win that matchup battle with JaMychal on the interior, on the glass especially, but even just getting to the basket. JaMychal's problem is he puts his hands in the cookie jar, so he'll foul. So Kuminga, if he's driving, JaMychal might be one of these positions where somehow he has his hands, like, stuck somewhere, and then Kuminga's going to the line. But I don't really think that would be the thing. What was really going to be hard for the Nuggets is if they turn the dang ball over But that's why Bones Highland is going to be so crucial because he doesn't turn the ball over a lot. But can
Andre's
Austin
gonna be
Rivers,
playing though. He could first force
who?
some turn.
Oh, Iggy.
Andre, yeah, he can definitely
Yeah,
force
that's what I'm
some
saying.
turnovers.
Why I forgot about Iggy. Iggy's on this team. But that's what I mean. Like they're legit like 9 to 10 deep. And then the Nuggets are actually about 7 deep. But those 7 players are all stepping up 2 slots because there's no Murray and Porter.
Right.
So that's the hard part.
Unfortunately, Kurt is probably gonna play Belly. So
I hope so.
It's like 11-ish, right? Because
play Belly. He needs to play Belly. He needs to play Belly a lot.
It should be 10. It should be 10. And Kuminga.
But Belly has to play. He has to be able to spell Looney.
He does not.
But you don't need to.
This madman Steve Kerr is probably going to play him.
But why would you want Draymond Green playing heavy 5 minutes?
We don't. You have Dre, you have Loon, and then you have other people who can play small ball 5, like Otto. Yeah.
Why would you play small ball 5 versus the Nuggets?
Why not?
No. People have done this. So this is the Nuggets have cooked.
It's fine.
Small ball.
We can do it, and
no, you can't.
Fine.
It makes no sense to then say, hey, we're gonna make a gamble on shooting offensively, but
Loon played all 82 games this season. He can play enough minutes at the 5, and then you give Dre a limited amount at the 5, and because that's what the closing lineup is gonna be. It's gonna be Dre.
Dre's gonna get cooked. I'm telling you.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
No, that's not happening.
You don't think Dre is gonna get cooked by Jokic?
All I'm saying is that like Jokic is gonna cook anybody. Like that's not, you know what I mean?
Especially Dre. He's too small.
But I'm just saying, but it doesn't matter what's gonna happen on the other end. You know what I'm saying?
Now I will tell you this: if Draymond does what he did in Game 7 in 2016, where they basically won the game with him, but then nobody else came up to play.
He does not need to.
I know, but listen, this is all I'm saying. If he can make 1 3 a game, 1.5 threes a game, over under. No.
Yes, he
Dre be going cold in the playoff. He was going cold in the playoff.
No. So like the whole like.
I'm just telling you, if he can
hit shots. How
you
telling me about my team?
No, I'm saying if he can hit shots, that will make the difference. Because
of
if he's not,
they're gonna leave him open, and he's gonna hit. He's gonna do this. He's gonna hit 1 to 2 a game. Yes, he's not
gonna hit 1, 2 3-pointers a game.
Okay.
That's not true.
Right.
But here's the thing: if he does, that makes Jokic's life harder because when Draymond and Kevin. Here's the thing: this is
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And then when it does, I want you to tweet like Natalie told me this was going to happen.
Let's take a break from make believe land for a little bit.
No, I don't need to take a break because I know what this team does in the postseason.
Looney and Draymond, the only benefit that Jokic will have from a rest standpoint is that he will not have to be faced up on the 3-point line the entire game. He can serve as because he's been their most consistent and best defender this year. He will be able to rest some on the fact that he won't have to guard somebody on the perimeter all the time. Now, they can do all that action stuff and all that, the back screens. Again, he's going to do that. But I really think the point of attack defenders for the Nuggets are going to have to do something today. I just don't believe. Well, let me not say
you guys are gonna need like a Jeff Green vintage performance. You're gonna
vintage.
Yes,
from last year, vintage.
Vintage.
He's a better playoff shooter than Draymond.
You're gonna need Forbes to be hitting. You're gonna need Bones Highland to be consistent throughout.
Who do you think will be more of an X factor in the series, Bones or Poole? Like X factor. I
don't even think Poole is like an X factor anymore for us. He's like one of our key guys. So I think Kuminga is more like or Otto Porter. Those are people who I consider like X factors. I don't consider main guys X factors. It's like
Bones. Obviously, Bones he's more important than Porter and Kuminga. So I guess you're right. He's like in between Poole.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like he's to me Bones or like Boogie. To me, they're both like the X factors for you guys. Like you need them to be big.
I will tell you what, Bones loves playing against big markets. He loves playing against primetime players. When he played against Steph Curry last time, he took Steph to the hole twice. And Bones, like he lights up because he loves Steph Curry. Like he loves his game. And so Bones is going to be shooting all these 28-foot threes that he always does. And I mean, he's shooting 44% from three since March. So like he's been on a roller since lately. But I'm telling you, man, like I really am excited to see Bones just because if Bones is going to have those momentum shading plays where he's going to be shooting threes, he's going to get into the basket. And again, especially if y'all are talking about playing small, we're gonna put all Porter
like
Jr.
you just understand that it's
center.
gonna be the return of the number one defense in the league, right? We were holding teams.
What does that mean?
100.
That's not. Yeah, sure, but again, we're not talking.
And we know in the playoffs they let people play defense. Like y'all are not.
Yes, they're gonna let the Nuggets play defense too. Is the problem?
That's great. Y'all not, but we're used to that. Are they used to it?
The Nuggets, they've been to way more playoff games in the last 3 years than the Warriors have. So yes,
they have not been to more playoff
true.
games or won more than Steph, Dre, or Clay.
That's 3 players. There's no one else on the roster.
But those are the guys we need. We need Steph and Clay.
No. But you know that star players will come to play. Role players are the ones you have to rely on.
My
point but listen,
is that
all of the Nuggets players have more overall playoff experience than outside of the Steph, Clay, and Dre. Well, duh.
Yeah, but they're role guys, and our guys are like
they've been in the finals since I was in grad school.
Poole is who cares? They haven't been 2 years. Like stop. Like let's stop overreacting. 2 years is not that serious.
It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years.
They had 2 years that they missed. 2.
I'm saying the last time they were in the playoffs, I was
that's nice, but it's been
still figuring out my life.
They have missed 2 postseasons. That's it. 2 postseasons.
Was 45 in office last time they went to the playoffs?
No, they went to the playoffs. What are you talking about? They have missed 2 postseasons.
Wait. Was the play-in game a playoff last year? I saw you say something about that. Is that the playoffs?
I don't know. I was like sort of just like trolling because
he got outplayed by Ja Morant in the playoff game.
That never happened. Steph averages 40 against the Grizzlies. I don't know why y'all lie. He didn't get outplayed.
I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm asking.
No, but that didn't happen. The Grizzlies won, but he didn't get outplayed. How you average 40 against a team and you're getting outplayed? That's stupid.
I mean, you can get cooked on defense too, but I didn't say it happened. Hey, listeners, fans of this amazing podcast, I did not say it happened.
Yeah, it did not happen. And again, whatever. Like, we're not gonna like go down that whole like it doesn't matter. That was last year, but
wait, I have a question.
What?
I wonder if you can be like not biased with this question, which I highly doubt. Who do you think the best player in the series is?
I think the best player. I didn't even answer the question. You didn't even let me answer the question, but you're laughing.
Go ahead. I didn't say anything. I'm just laughing. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just to build up.
So it's like the way you started your answer at the beginning about who's going to win, and you said it's nuanced, and so it's going to seem like I'm I don't know, hedging or whatever. It's not that, but I think because Steph is coming off injury, I have to see what he looks like first, right? Secondly, I think that Jokic just has like a different role. He has to do more on this team than Steph has to do, right? So when someone has to do more in their role on a team, they will have stats that look different. And so that can like appear like, okay, right? It's like when people say Kevin Durant was the best player on our team. He had the better stats. Yeah, but like Steph was the one catching the schemes. He wasn't the better player, right? So I don't know, right? But like I consider them both tier 1 players. So like to me, I don't think Jokic is a different tier than Steph. If you believe that, that's like
this season. I mean, I'm saying this season, you don't think so?
No, because I don't. Right, because I'm not looking at like, oh, Steph had a shooting slump, so that means like that's who he is now. Like it was a slump, but like Steph, first of all, in terms of impact, right? Like he's only like second to Jokic this year, like in terms of their impact. And our coach was doing a bunch of wonky things with the team. Like I know that because I'm a Warriors fan. He was fucking with the rotations, like, like for most of the goddamn season. He, like we had one game where there were like 24, 26 different lineups. Like there was just a lot of stuff going on with our team that it like that impacted the way like what you were seeing from Stephen Curry.
This is a very long-winded non-answer.
Well, I don't
and I
care,
just want to confirm
but this is my podcast, so I can do that. And I let you be long-winded at the beginning, and I
I want to know. You still? I want to know.
And I listened. So my answer to that question is that they are both tier 1 guys, and so to me, it's like negligible. It's like saying, is Jokic better than Giannis, or is like to me, the tier 1 players in the league are Steph, KD, Jokic, Giannis, right? So it's like those 4 to me.
Was he better? You think Steph was better than LeBron this year?
Yeah, I don't like LeBron. To me, I'm not that impressed by LeBron this year. Like, he put up stats, but like he's not having the same level of impact. Like Steph's impact is very real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so even like on Thinking Basketball, right? Like they still like when they did their list, it was still the top 3 were like Jokic, Steph, and KD, right? So offense, I'm talking about like offensive, right? So it's like people are like so crazy about Steph's numbers, and they're just comparing Steph to himself, but like his impact is still the fucking same. Like the Warriors suck when he's not on the court, right? The net rating were there, like everything shows that. So
would that make more sense than to have Poole come off the bench, if just to kind of?
No, because I actually think it's better when you have another shot creator on the floor with Steph, because that's just not like, it's not Clay's game. And like when Clay, Steph, and Poole are on the court together, the numbers are insanity. And like I was really looking forward to seeing that back when Dre came and then Steph got hurt. Like it was insane. So just what it opens up, because now you have 2 shot creators, you have 2 play finishers, and let's say Wiggins and Clay, right? And then you have Trey out there, and like if people are going to sag off him, that's fine, but he's going to have a lot of options of who to like get the ball to. So it just opens up so much for us. Like Poole's just so dynamic. Because outside of KD, we've never had another player like that, right? Honestly, we haven't in all of the years, right? Clay can give you 20, 25 points, but Clay is a catch and shoot guy. You don't want him putting the ball on the floor, right, to dribble. So that's not what he is. And I always make this point in 2016. If Clay was that kind of a player, think about what happened. Like, wouldn't like Kerr just be like, okay, go get us some buckets? Like Clay can't do what Kyrie did, right? I mean, most people can't do what Kyrie did, but I'm saying if you had a Poole in that series, it would be different, right? And so it's just like a different skill set. And so the Warriors, in the history of like the Warriors, even when Kevin Durant was here, like the bench minutes were never great when Steph is on the floor, which to me is more of an indictment of Steve Kerr than it is any of the players. Yeah. So I'm not trying to make it seem like our players are trash as much as like he doesn't have like alternatives, right? He doesn't know what to do or have any counter like when Steph isn't on the floor. And so yeah, I mean, I think that the way that Steph's year was treated was silly to me, because people are just like, oh, he's shooting like this, and I'm like, okay, but like he's still having a positive impact on his team, so who cares? Like you're comparing him to himself, like who cares? So that's how I feel about it. So I am not ever prepared to say a player is better than another player until after the full postseason. So if Jokic like completely outclasses Steph, then yeah,
he's gonna have to.
Right, but I don't think that's going to happen. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, for them to be in the series, he's going to have to. So
right.
unless it's
and
like
I don't believe
4-0.
Right, but I don't believe that will happen. That's for one. Now,
so you think it's a sweep?
No, I think it's a gentleman's sweep. I think it's a 5-game series. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. Like the Warriors can be silly and fool around and make it like 6 games just because like they do dumb shit, have like a really high turnover game. There also could be like an adjustment with Steph coming back, right? Like he's gonna come in and just play, right? And so, I mean, if Steph's on the court, it usually doesn't matter. but we just don't know like what he's gonna look like. And Kerr also said he's gonna be on a minutes restriction. So like when Kerr has too many options, he just like Kerrs and does
So
stupid
since
shit.
we're in propaganda dreamland
Like
right
Kerr
now,
can give you a game just off of his like bullshit, you know?
all right. So if the Nuggets win this series, I just want to hear your thought. If the Nuggets were to win this series, what would your takeaway be about Jokic? Would you clear him and saying like he's declared like he's best player in the NBA given all the circumstantial things around it?
Yeah, if he beat this team, sure. I'd want to see him like go on and do a little bit more.
No,
But if
no. The Warriors are making a championship run, so I would need to hear from that.
they're making no, I would be prepared at that point to say that he's a better player than Steph.
No,
yeah.
that's not this year.
I wouldn't be prepared to say he's the best player because you got like there's a whole like there's still Giannis over there, there's still KD, like those guys have something
But I don't
want to
know if you're not. How are you not prepared to say he's a better player than Steph this season, given all of the metrics, all of the
because
data?
you can have a better season than someone, but not still be a better player, and I'm not ready to say
So
that.
the last 2 years together combined don't say anything to you.
I don't think that like he was a better player than Steph last year.
Okay.
So I wouldn't agree with that, but I think this year he had a better season than Steph. And again, me understanding what was going on the team, there were just like a lot of things that contributed to that. So, but players can have like a wonky season. And it's a wonky season for Steph. It's not a bad season. That's the thing. So, yeah, I just need to like I only care about the postseason. I don't only care about the postseason, but what I mean is I want to see what they're gonna look like in the postseason and see like what Steph looks like and then see what Jokic looks like. And then, I'll be prepared to make declarations then.
I just want people to be prepared for the minimalist outcome. Let's say the least likely outcome. That Jokic is able to take this team up, as we've agreed, role players.
If he does, I'm telling you, like I would write then I'd be like, yeah, okay, like he's cleared Steph. He's like surpassed them. But I'm not.
Well, but I think too, like I think people just to be fair about this, like Steph is 33 years old. Like I don't think that it would be realistic to expect Steph at 33 as a small guard to be able to put up seasons like he was doing in 2015 and 16.
I understand that, but I don't think
like well, I'm just this is just my opinion.
He started off fine at the beginning of the year. Like it to me, that would make sense if like he was like that from the beginning of the season. He was killing the beginning of the year, then he had a slump, and then he looked, and you have to remember there was again. Clay comes back. They're focused on let's get Clay readjusted. Let's get him touches. Let's get this. Like, I need to make sure Poole is ready. Like, Steph this year wasn't focused on I'm Steph. I got to get my numbers and do what I have to do. It was I need to get Poole ready. I need to get Clay right. So
what's the difference with that with Jokic and getting everyone else ready? That was a team of role players. What do you?
No, because I don't think the difference because the difference is like last year Steph had to carry the team. This is not like he didn't have to carry this team, but he needs to get them in the right frame of mind for like a postseason run. Like that's what the Warriors' eyes are on. And I'm not saying that Jokic doesn't want to make the postseason, but like it's a bunch of role players. So there's only going to be so much they can do on any given night. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph actually made a pact with Jordan Poole at the beginning of the year. So this stuff that you see, like Steph's expectation for Jordan was to be one of the main guys with him, right? That was an expectation for them from the beginning of the season. So just because outsiders like, oh, Poole's a sixth man or he's however, Steph made a pact with Jordan himself. And so that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like the fact that like, this is like the year when in what year was that? 2017. We won 67 games, right? And
that's the KD year, first KD year.
Yeah. And the year before that, we'd won 73. And then the year before that, we won 67. So whatever. But my point is, won 67 games. Now, KD, fine. I know that he got hurt. So fine. Maybe there's an argument for that. But both Steph, both KD, second team all NBA, right? 67 wins. They gave fucking because he had that triple double season. Russ got first team and Harden got first team, right? But then look what happens in like the postseason. And so my whole point is that like their numbers were not as gaudy as Russ or Harden, because you have Steph and Katie on the court, right? So they just don't have to do as much. But they were never better players. Harden and Russ were never better players because they had more gaudy stats and seasons. That's my point. So like the fact that now, like, you're telling me that Steph is 33, I understand that. I'm not saying that father time doesn't come, but there's no real
the context of what I was saying when I brought up the age thing was not to say that he doesn't have the ability to do it, but I think the frequency in which he's going to have to do it or be able to do that is going to decrease as time goes on. But it's not because
of course, but I don't think we're there yet. So when you're saying like, I don't expect someone at like 33, yes, if you're like the typical player, but Stephen Curry isn't the typical player. He keeps his body in excellent condition. He's one of the best conditioned athletes in the league. He runs more miles on the court than most of the younger guys. Like, he has a game that lends itself to aging well. And also the signs of like actual slippage just aren't there. Like once he was out of the slump, like the signs that you look for, I don't mean like, because people are like talking about shooting percentages, like he's missing wide open shots. That has nothing to do with age, right? But it's his ability to get by people, right? Things like that. Like that's what you start to look at, like his finishing, things like that, like how he's getting to the rim. Those numbers, like once the slump ended and he started like shooting his regular numbers, those are the indications of like, okay, he's slowing down. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that it was extended. And so because it was extended, that people are like, he's slipping. But what I'm saying is people aren't really paying attention. Like he really, of course, he's not the 27-year-old he was, but he's still like at a very, very high level still. That's all I'm saying.
So when do you feel like the slump ended?
It was probably, it's been broken down a few times by like different people who cover the team, but I think it was like about like the first 20 to 25 games he was good, and then there was about like another 20 to 25 games, and then like after, I don't remember the exact point, but then I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I mean, from February 1st, which is only 17 games, he averaged 24, 6 assists, and 4.6 rebounds. He shot 49% from the field, and he shot essentially 38.5% from three, and he shot 96% from the line. So, yeah, I mean, there's from that February 1st period on, he was excellent.
Yeah, and so, I mean, again, I think a lot of that was overblown, and I don't like to really spend my podcast complaining about things that Steve Kerr does to frustrate me, because I don't like to be one of those people. So there was just like a lot going on with the Warriors. So like I said, I just feel like the postseason will rectify a lot of narratives and misconceptions about what things are. But at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna like apologize or feel some type of way that like Steph has more help. And so like, but I just don't understand why people can't have common sense, because he has more help, right? But that doesn't mean that like, that he still can't perform at a certain level. Like he's still going to be the one catching the schemes. He's still going to be the one who like people are trying to stop on the court, right? And if he's doing that and he uses his gravity to like set his teammates up, like that's still a positive thing, And so as long as he does what he needs to help his team win, right? That's all that should matter. And so that's what I'm looking for. And then of course, hopefully, right, he's hitting his shots and he's looking like Steph when he does. So that's what I'm expecting for the postseason.
So you're saying that if Jokic first rounds to Warriors this year, you'll be willing to give him your actual MVP vote this year? Because I know you do not like to give people MVP votes if they're not in the top 3 seats.
Correct. He still wouldn't get my vote. I don't believe in it. That's my rule for like MVP. So, I know that people like Jokic was incredible this year. Like, in fact, I converted someone to being a Jokic fan. So like, that's why I laugh when people come in my mentions.
You converted yourself to be a Jokic fan this year?
No, I've always been a fan of Jokic, but I converted my friend into it because she was not like a Jokic believer. And I was just like, what are you? And
So you think Devin Booker should have got the MVP this year?
No, I don't, because I don't have a hard strict rule about best player on the best team. Like that's not what it is. And I don't think that like Booker has MVP impact, So like the advanced stats aren't kind to him. Now, some people don't care about that. So like his traditional stats are good. But like when you like, and same with Ja, like, so like those two guys to me, when people wanted to put them in, they're not there yet. They have to still take their game to like another level. And I think Ja can get there, and Booker's still young, so he can probably get there too, but they're just not there yet. So no, I wouldn't have given them MVP. But I mean, I think like Giannis is the right person to be in the conversation. I think Embiid was the right person to be in the conversation.
He's a fourth seed.
Huh?
Embiid's a fourth seed.
Yeah, he is. But the thing about it is like they were tied, so he's like a fourth seed by like
He lost to Giannis and he lost to the Celtics, and he got blown out by both.
He did, but he also beat Giannis, and that's the thing. So when we look at games,
so did Jokic.
Okay,
and
great.
He also beat Embiid.
Right, but I didn't say that those things didn't happen, right?
For
so
sure.
All I'm saying is like people look at like the most recent thing, and that's what I don't like about recency bias, because like that's the reason why like everyone's just like, oh, Luka should be first team All NBA over Steph, because they're just looking at how Luka finished the season. But the way
Luka is first team All NBA, but not over Steph. Steph is also first team All NBA over Booker.
Well, so it depends on who you ask, though, right? So to me, I would do Booker and Steph. I think Booker
over Luka Doncic. Why would
To me, Booker deserves the spot, and it's a conversation between Steph and Luka. That's my opinion.
But why? What did Booker do to deserve a spot over Luka Doncic?
Winning has to fucking count. Like this idea.
But he doesn't have more impact on his team winning than Luka does on his team, who won 51 games this year.
Luka and Devin Booker's team won 63, 64 games. Like, what are we
with a significant Chris Paul? Chris Paul was for the first half of the year for
they
Chris
kept
Paul
winning
down.
when Chris Paul went down. Like, I don't want to hear shit
Devin
about Chris
Booker,
Paul.
When Devin Booker went down, they were winning too. Chris Paul literally was top 4, well, what was he, top 5, top 6 MVP candidate.
Chris Paul is not that team's best player. I don't want to hear shit about Chris Paul.
Chris Paul was the MVP candidate on that team last year and was through half of the year.
No, he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been.
Why?
And you should not, because you know what? The only reason Chris Paul was even pushed is because so many media members didn't even want to give Jokic that MVP. He wasn't in the fucking conversation all season.
You cannot hold on, time out. You cannot defer away from Chris Paul because his box score stats aren't what Devin Booker's are. He's a more important
that's
player
not why. I don't think
playmaker on that team. Go ahead.
Chris Paul was not on that team, and like Cameron Payne was their Payne.
They wouldn't have won 64 games.
Hold on. Yeah, but they would have won like a high 50s. They would have been close to 60 still.
If Devin Booker wasn't on that team and it was Payne and it was Chris Paul, they would have won high 50s too. No. That doesn't make any sense.
No, they would not have.
What do you mean? They got Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder and the rest of the squad.
I'm not here to talk about the Phoenix Suns. I'm really not. All I'm saying is you're asking me, and this is how you know that I am not biased, because I'm telling you he should be the lock, and the conversation is between Steph and Luka.
It got nothing to do with being not biased.
Whatever. Anyway, this is how I apply my criteria.
The most clear-cut guard case of anybody in the NBA.
Cam, you don't have to agree with my criteria.
We're just having a debate. This is a healthy debate.
Right, but this is my criteria. And you didn't even let me finish my point, because what I was trying to say about Luka is that whatever you want to say about his season, he started the season off slow. He did. That happened.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. And
she was 27, 7 and 7 to start
on
the year.
Very inefficient, on a very inefficient split.
Embiid was 22 and 10 and 4 to start the year.
We're not talking about MVP. We're talking about All NBA right now. And all I was making a simple point was that the voters, like when you brought up, oh, he lost to these players. Okay. And he also beat them. But we tend to just look at what happened in the last game. And what I'm saying is that's not cool. Like we need to always look over the course of the whole season, because people are like, well, they're going to just ding Steph because he missed games. I'm like, Luka played one more game than Steph. Like they played the same number of games. So, but people, because Steph missed his games at the end of the season, people are thinking like for some reason he didn't play like a lot of games. And so that's what I'm saying. Like I have a problem when people just look at like the recency stuff. So there are some people who agree with you, who think it's Luka and Steph. There's a lot of people who agree with that. I'm never going to be upset at anyone putting, Steph on the team, but
he's not going to make it either. And I think it's a sham.
But what I'm saying is I think that it's a conversation between Luka and Steph. And I don't think like Luka's traditional stats are better than Steph, not by like some large margin, but like his advanced stats are nowhere as good as Steph. And so I don't think that like it should be like, yeah,
Booker's are not better than Luka's.
Yes, no, they're not. They're not. But what I give a lot of weight to team record. I do. And Booker was there and he was playing and his team is number 1 in the NBA by a large margin compared to other teams. And that is disgusting to me if no one from the Suns has a first team. That's how I apply my criteria. So to me, Booker's on. And like I said, to me, it should have been a conversation between Steph and Luka. So like Steph is going to get dinged for games, which is silly to me. And he's likely going to end up being second team. But a lot of that is like bias because in the beginning of the season, the only conversation was Luka's conditioning and this and that. And then he heats up, right? After All-Star break, kind of leading up to All-Star break. And so people pay attention to that. And so they're like, oh yeah, Luka's a lock. But remember how you guys were talking about Luka at the beginning of the season. And so that's what I don't like. It's like, it's a recency bias. And I have an issue with that. But I'm not saying that Luka isn't deserving. I'm just saying the things that are being used to discredit Steph, games played, is ridiculous. Like he
played 64 games this year.
Huh?
He played 64 games this year.
Yeah. And Luka played one more than him.
Yeah, and Booker only played 4 more.
Right. So I'm not, but I'm just saying, but Steph is the one being penalized for games played. That's my point. They've all played like a comparable number of games. So
Devin Booker is getting the Ja Morant push, who 3 weeks ago said he should be a top 3 MVP candidate, and he wouldn't have made first team All NBA.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been top 5 MVP.
I saw you going back.
It wasn't an argument. It was fair. The way he phrased it. It was the way he phrased it was trying to say that. And again, I know you don't think Jokic should be in the conversation as top 3 anyway because of the record. So I know I'm not arguing with the right person here.
Right. I value record. That's just me. Some people don't. That's fine. But
so it would have been Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, Ja Morant, and Jason Tatum would be the top 4 records and best players on those teams.
No, but like you're just making it seem like I only focus on record. That's not. It's a combination of factors, but I weigh record heavily. It's not solely just record, but I weigh record heavily.
3 more wins with better teams with Giannis is over.
With what?
Because of 3 more wins, you would put Giannis over Jokic because of 3 more victories.
Are you talking about MVP? Are we back talking about MVP?
What are we talking about? Yeah, sure. You brought it up and said that wins are a part of that argument. I'm saying Giannis has 3 more wins than Jokic.
Because I was talking about all NBA. This is the thing about conferences and wins.
You see how Nat and I have this great chemistry, you all. This is made for TV television right here.
When people bring up that he only has like 3 more wins or whatever and all this bullshit, they are in 2 separate conferences. I don't care about their total wins because they're in 2 separate conferences. So being a 3rd seed, being a 2nd seed, being a 4th seed is more valuable than being a 6th seed.
Well, I'm sorry, the 3 best teams were in the West. I don't know what to say.
They get home court. It's a more valuable thing.
So what? They got beat by 36 points when Jokic played against them. What are you yelling
about? What are you complaining about?
We're talking at the same frequency.
Your boy is going to win MVP. So the fact that I don't agree with that, why does that matter?
Well, no,
he's gonna win it.
We're having a philosophical debate. This really isn't about Jokic. I just think the criteria for wins and all that stuff is a way that's too heavy. But we're having a spirited debate. You're free to have that opinion. Matt, right. I support your right to have that opinion.
I don't feel like you do because I'm constantly questioned.
We're just having a debate. No, this is what we do.
How many times do you want to have the same discussion? My criteria isn't changing. And last year, when I was heavy advocating that Jokic should have been unanimous, right? A Warriors fan. I said that
because Steph didn't play better than Jokic, so that was easy.
No, I said that because I was like, stop telling me Steph is MVP. We are an 8th seed.
Well, he didn't make the playoffs, so
I don't want to hear that. I also don't like that. I don't want to hear that didn't make the playoff shit. Like there were 6 fucking games above 500. The man missed 9 games.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs because fucking Michael Mulder and Kent Bazemore was.
You got beat by LeBron James and Ja Morant playing. I'm just messing with you, Nat. I'm just messing with you.
Because like it's just like absolutely because Steph is held to a different standard. He's the smallest guy, he plays point guard, but people expect him to do ridiculous things. He does do ridiculous things, but
he's like the most popular player in the
all
NBA,
I
right?
heard last year when Kevin Durant lost was about a fucking toe on the line. That's what I heard about. All I hear about with LeBron James is his lack of fucking help. No one talks about Steph's lack of fucking help last year. No.
I mean, he had all-star starter Andrew Wiggins on the team and Draymond Green, so
Andrew wasn't an all-star last year.
I mean, he was peaking. He was great.
He was not an all-star.
Steph Curry is arguably the most popular player in the NBA, right? You know that.
And not arguably, he is, but that doesn't matter.
So people love him. Yeah, people love him. So
but like being that's like casual fans. I'm talking about like other players, like when the experts get on TV and talk about him. That's what I'm saying. Like people just say stupid shit. Every year he has to debunk myths and redo shit and reprove himself. For what? Why does he have to keep reproving shit? So no, fuck all those people, right? And I am very, very protective of my guy. And he's again going to dispel a lot of myths this postseason. That's all I'm saying. And I'm ready for it.
I mean, I hope Steph plays well because you don't understand the sweet justice of Jokic winning this series with Steph playing well would just be
okay, but y'all are not winning the series. So now
I don't know why you think that. I'm saying like it's basketball.
You don't know why I think they're not winning because we are.
You know things happen in basketball. You know how things happen in basketball.
We are the better team. We are the better team. And even if we don't have the clear cut best player in the series, they both have 2 tier 1 guys. Like they both have that guy. So it's not like one team has that guy and the other team doesn't have a guy, right?
Your team has a second.
It's not like when you're playing the Suns and we know that like if Jokic was playing the Suns, he would be the best player in that series. And yet last year,
your team has
a
second team All NBA player as his best player. My team has the back-to-back reigning MVP, so it's a little different.
My team has a 3-time champion, 2-time MVP.
It
doesn't fucking matter.
He ain't did that since the Trump administration.
Yeah, he hasn't been there because he didn't fucking play. He was third in MVP.
He got beat last year.
He was third in MVP voting last year. Let's calm the fuck down.
The media wanted to give him that. The media wanted to give him that. Yeah, right.
No, the media wanted to give him that. You know why? Because he went on a fucking tear.
Because they dislike.
Because he went on a
April was amazing.
You know who they wanted to give it to? They wanted to give it to Chris Paul. They had the audacity to put that fucking short man into the conversation. And you're offended. You're offended by
this is why y'all should ask Nat to bring. Matter of fact, Nat, people have suggested on Twitter that we need to have a show together. This is why.
I'm not.
You know the energy.
You want to bring up silliness and get me uptight.
I don't know. I'm just bringing up points.
We were having a calm discussion, and then you like bring up all of these narratives.
I am not a Steph hater. I support Steph Curry.
We're rapping. We're rapping because
this is why people want to see us do what we do. This conversation is gold.
Listen,
pure gold. You can put this on the internet; it would have 100,000 views. Promise.
I am not okay. Well, you good. You help push it since you're the one with the big YouTube following. Anyway. Listen, this is your preview for the Denver Nuggets Warrior series. I got the Dubs in 5. What's your prediction?
Swiper says the best player in the NBA about to wash the floor with Steph Curry and the rest of them gang. And the Denver Nuggets could lose 4-2, but I'm gonna go ahead and be bold. Nuggets in 7. Let's go. Nuggets in 7.
You don't even actually believe that. You don't believe that.
Nuggets in 7. Let's go.
Okay, so you're just like rooting for your team.
Here for the content. I'm here for the chaos. Because if Nikola Jokic walks down Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins, NBA All-Star starter, Draymond Green, Defensive Player of the Year. If he walks down all these great players,
he's not the DPOY this year. He's not even finishing top 3.
He should be. He really should be. If he was healthy, he should be. He would.
Okay, but like you can't just be throwing out like.
I mean, he is.
But you can't just throw out.
He's the best defender in the NBA. All right, how about this? You have All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry, second team All NBA.
Listen, I understand that
Three-time
everybody is
NBA
upset
champion.
about Andrew Wiggins, but he earned his fucking spot.
Three-time champion
He was
Klay
playing
Thompson,
at an
one of the
all-star
three
level.
best shooters of all time versus Nikola Jokic and Nikola Jokic and friends.
All
Y'all
right.
should beat
Well,
them 4-1.
whatever.
But guess what? If Nikola Jokic wins that series, y'all ain't gonna hear enough from me all summer.
Okay,
I ain't
but
gonna come for
y'all are not winning, so get over it.
I'm gonna
Doesn't
clip
suck.
that section right there, and I'm gonna put that up at the top of my banner. And every time they win, I'm gonna retweet it. That way, people can see it over again.
Okay, and what you gonna do when they lose? Are you gonna?
I'm gonna say great series. I'm gonna say
okay.
great series.
Okay.
This is a win-win for me. Hey,
No, it's
win-win
not.
for me. It is.
No.
1,000%.
And you've been popping off at the mouth a lot this year. A lot. You've been
and it
popping
worked.
off at
It
the mouth
worked.
a
He
lot.
won MVP, did he not? He won MVP,
Oh.
did he not?
I don't care about MVP. Like
You
I don't.
don't. You know why? You know why? Because you don't have an MVP caliber player on your roster right now.
No, I don't care about MVP because like we have bigger things to win, and my guy has already won MVP. In fact, he was the only unanimous MVP ever in the league. Don't ever forget it.
Oh,
So,
I was 25 years old when that happened.
No, anyway.
That was so long ago.
So what? Like, I don't know why you think you get to discredit accolades because they happened a long time ago.
I didn't discredit it.
Like,
I didn't discredit it.
Okay, when you become a veteran team in your season and you accomplish that stuff, the only goal at the end of the year is winning. You focus on things like preserving your body, preserving the team, getting through the season. If you guys had won championships, maybe you'd understand that. So you want to try to attack us and be like, "Oh, you haven't."
I'm not attacking anything. Wait, hold on. Time out. Hey, hold on for the mic.
The 2 years only that the Warriors did not make the postseason. 1 year, Steph and Klay did not play, and the second year, he was 6 games above 500 and in the 8th spot after missing 9 games. In the games that they played, they won at a 57% win percentage. I don't want to hear your shit about what Steph didn't do, okay? If the play-in did not even exist, they're a fucking playoff team. So you're not going to like sit here and try to act like he didn't do something last season. No, I'm not answering your hand raising.
I need to respond.
No, you don't. I'm ending the show.
Please let me respond.
I did not say with foolishness. I'm stopping the record button.
I did not say at any point in time Steph Curry was not amazing last year, nor did I slander the 3 championships he won because I was rooting for Steph Curry.
Oh, you keep telling me about how long ago they are, like they don't fucking matter.
I'm saying it was long ago, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
It wasn't that long ago. Like they were in the finals in 2019. Then Klay Thompson and Steph Curry missed the season. Are they supposed to make the playoffs when that happens? Like, okay.
No, listen. I never discredited Steph Curry. Steph Curry is amazing. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA still. And I've said that he's a top 15 all-time player. I have never discredited Steph Curry. So all these Warrior fans in here that's going to be listening to this.
Yeah, but then you come with these casual takes that are unnecessary when I know you're not a casual.
For all these Warrior fans in here, I want to be able to say on record that Nat, as great as she is, wonderful content creator, everybody go follow, subscribe, send her a bag because she deserves it. We need more Black women in the NBA basketball community, and she is amazing at her job. But I want to go ahead and say for the record, she pushed this propaganda that I was slandering Steph Curry. That's not what happened.
Push that.
All I said was that Steph Curry hasn't won a championship and had a unanimous MVP since 2016 when that happened. And I didn't say it didn't happen.
What is the point of bringing that up, though? Of course he hasn't had one since
All I said is that Nikola Jokic, if he wins this series, the level of diatribe you're going to get from SwipaCam's Twitter account that you love so much.
Y'all are not winning.
That,
enough.
Well, I'm saying it's basketball.
Enough with the fan fiction. And also,
fan fiction now.
The only reason
you just said if the play-in didn't exist, they would have made the playoffs.
To bring up that he hasn't won in a certain number of years is to push agendas. Like, yeah, he hasn't won in a certain number of years because
what agenda? That's facts. It's not agenda. There's no agenda.
It is agendas because you know how the media is. After you won a couple of times, like they don't want to give it to you. And then the media was literally on record saying we're not.
All I did was open a book up and read the information.
The media repeatedly stated because Steph Curry and KD played together,
has not made the playoffs since 2019. I just read it off.
Yeah. Well, what?
I just read it off. It's historical information. It's no bias.
But let's explain why he didn't make the playoffs. You're just saying it like they just missed and they weren't fucking good. You're never gonna come on here and get to just run propaganda on my show. You do that on your show. You do it on Twitter. But
I don't ain't no propaganda.
we're gonna always say facts on here. We're gonna provide context. We're gonna do nuance. That's what we do.
You call what I said fan fiction, and you say if the play didn't exist, they would have made the playoff. Though that if hands, who's or but, who care? If Jamal Murray was playing in this series, bro, what happened? What's up?
Anyway,
what's up? 4-1 Nuggets.
The Golden State Warriors and Denver Nuggets will be playing each other, and that series begins on Saturday, April 16th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time is the time of the first game, right? Is that correct?
Yep, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, prime time on ABC.
ABC. Anything but Curry.
Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I know that Cam can be a bit much, but you know, we were good up until like the 45-minute point, but he cannot help himself with the propaganda. So, but he gave us some really great information about the Denver Nuggets and this team. So I think you guys have like a good understanding of the team, but we're going to smack their asses. And then he's going to have to be quiet for the rest of the postseason. And I'm going to enjoy that quite like a lot. I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. So Cam, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Thank you for always advocating for me and Black women. Thank you for helping me be a better content creator. Thank you for lending yourself to this show and being here and sharing all of your knowledge. Even though you drive me a little crazy, I still appreciate you greatly.
And we a content machine. Somebody tell her, hey, yo, advertising, put out that 6-figure offer so we can do it. Put out that 6-figure offer so we can do it.
And it's well, I don't know. Do you celebrate anything coming up this weekend? I don't want to wish you a happy holiday and then you don't.
Yeah, we got Good Friday on Friday. We have Easter coming up on Sunday. So
happy Good Friday to you. Happy Easter to you. And we got the game Saturday night. So I know I'll see you on the TL, right? So guys,
that Twitter space is after.
Go subscribe to his YouTube. Okay. Tell them what the YouTube channel is.
SwipaCam on YouTube. Love to talk NBA, NFL, talk about culture and life. So if you don't want to hear about nothing but sport, I'm not the place you want to go to. But if you want to hear about life, you want to hear about everything that's happening in the world around you, and you want to talk NBA and NFL, hey, we got it. We here for it. You want to hop on the timeline, SwipaCam on Twitter, SwipaCam on IG and TikTok. Because that's what we do. We like to create content, man. I love my people. I love y'all. Y'all great. Warriors fans is great. Warriors is great. I'm excited. This is going to be amazing.
For sure. So anyway, guys, until next time, make sure you are leaving those reviews for me, please, and leaving those ratings, 5 stars. And there's going to be some more postseason coverage. So I don't think the show will be weekly anymore. It'll probably be like a couple of episodes dropping a week. I'm not sure yet. So, but I'll be keeping you guys posted, but there's going to be more content, like more frequency with the postseason. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode and you look forward to more that are coming, because we have some great guests coming on. You just met one and I have many more that will be coming on. All right. Take care.